Greetings, Select Tribe. Janine Palmer here, Spirit Silver Moon for Divine Heretic Poetic Tales. Again, doing some poetry readings today. This is more from the book. It's in a couple books, but Apocalypse of Worthiness. And it's important to point out, I feel, that the word apocalypse means to reveal what is hidden. Some people are programmed mistakenly to believe that apocalypse means something horrible to be feared. No, apocalypse means to reveal what is hidden. And there is much that is hidden, but it's coming into the light now. So this is a poem called, I'm going to do two poems out of this book today. They're each 2-page poems. So this one's called Indwelling Presence. The indwelling presence of holiness, the higher divine part of a being, is the part which silently guides us. Some recognize, but most are not seeing. Some listen to their higher guidance. Their compassion trumps the ego's disguise. They have risen above the clever whispers of their own ego's fears and lies. The indwelling presence, our angel, our highest and best out of sight, not the physical part of our being, but the strength and the truth and the might. Some see it beyond their religion, but sadly most do not. Some see it beyond their need for control, but most swim in illusion because they forgot. Some feed off of the energy of others. Some continue to create karma to be balanced, so they create good or they destroy it. They don't yet drink from divinity's chalice. They don't fully receive the love they need because they haven't learned to give it out. They know not the meaning of unconditional love. They cannot whisper. They can only shout. Blustering like a warrior baboon, pounding their chest as they go, not in touch with their indwelling presence, which has nothing to do with a show. The indwelling presence is a quiet strength which trumps the false warrior every time. The false warrior is the ego and illusion, which keeps us separate from the collective vine. Part of the higher purpose here is to rise above that false devil. To learn to be humble and honor our brethren, we must rise to an elevated level. The indwelling presence whispers to you, but because the ego is loud and distracting, many fail to hear the guidance and love because they are too busy being offended and reacting. Kudos to the true warriors within, who has risen above the ego's snare, that part of our presence, who has become a master and has stepped out of the ego's dark lair. And I have to thank my friend Ron for the inspiration for that indwelling presence, because I learned that from a discussion with him. Some people feel like our higher self is our guardian angel. Okay, the next poem I want to read is called White Eagle, and I just talked about him briefly in another video to do with oracle cards as far as being a guide and a master. So this one says, there was a being on earth like so many others who was able to rise above so many things, so deeply in touch with his spirit and creator, divine light and truth through his soul, could now sing. Retaining the form and image of honor in truth and grace, a Native American warrior in full regalia with light in his face. Carrying the wisdom of the ancestors while doing work on other levels and here for God. Teaching of the Christ consciousness for those ready to ascend out of darkness's fog. An ascended master working in unison with the brilliant rays of light, the great white brotherhood of spirit for ascension out of darkness and night. On this lower level of creation, this dark star, this hellish plane, this free will zone of Earth School, where blessings and lessons do reign. Blessings come from the light, which come to us from on high. coming in through our light when we release illusions through trials, tears, and deep sighs. Letting go of attachment to fears and our thoughts about things, letting go of programming and ideas, rising above ego so our souls can now sing. Where we create our own reality by our thoughts and words and deeds, by how we serve and share love with others, and whether or not our spirit we heed. White Eagle's teachings are written here for the guidance of those who seek to know, for those who recognize they are the temple of God, for those who reconnect with divinity's flow. White Eagle said the temple of God was neither built of stone nor bricks. It is the human consciousness when adoring and reconnecting with the all. Jesus recognized the innermost being as the true temple of worship. And when our defenses and illusions crumble, we shall be enthralled. Be aware that there are guides from higher realms for us, working with angels, God, and rays of light, trying to break through illusions, din, and rust. When we shatter the illusions around us with our own divine sword and inner light, we begin to rise above the dark fog, reconnecting to our truth beyond the night. And that's it for this one for today. White Eagle's writings are amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I learned of him through reading a book about the secret teachings of Mary Magdalene from Claire Namad, who spoke of him and referenced his book. I think it was the book The Living Word of St. John. Well, John's my favorite of the scriptures, but the way he explains it has a particular depth to it and a resonance that if you really want to learn deeper meanings of scripture, I highly recommend it. The White Eagle Lodge out of England. And the way that scholars will break things down and kind of give you a deeper meaning and understanding of what something means. Because scriptures are metaphoric. Scriptures have spiritual value, but some fundamentalist groups have stripped that away because they attempt to take things too literally. They don't understand, they're not understanding the way it was meant when it was written in the languages it was written. Okay, so it's misinterpreted, misperceived, from largely also as well from mistranslation. Okay, because when it's translated from the original languages, okay, there are ways that it's understood. In those languages, there are no English words for, so it makes it tricky. There are many things, if you absolutely do endeavor to study some biblical scholars, you will find a very different understanding of what you thought you believed, perhaps, with regard to programming from religions, shall we say. But he has many books, if you care to look him up, White Eagle. Spiritual books, The Gentle Brother, Heal Thyself, books on Christ, beautiful writings of Christ. So that's it for this one. Peace.